Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Nate. Appreciate you tuning in, and we're gonna jump in just straight away. I don't want to waste your time. So today's topic is going to be on how do you know if you are dating or talking to a pathological liar. All right, guys. So this video, I'm going to reflect on a lot of personal experience here. So I got a couple of stories. If you guys got any questions or just want to clarify anything, let me know in the comments below. But I want to start off by saying, guys, that a pathological liar is extremely dangerous, right? And the sad thing about this is you normally find out when it's too late, all right? If you haven't dated a bunch or you just don't understand human nature very well, it can happen to you. Guys, I thought that I understood people very well, and I was at one time, years ago, with somebody that I would consider a pathological liar. Now, let's talk about what this looks like, all right? And then I'm going to go into some stories. Guys, a pathological liar is someone who legitimately cannot stop lying and doesn't see anything wrong with lying about anything. Now, I'm not talking about the occasional, she's gonna, let's say she lives with her parents and she's running behind and she's gonna tell a little white lie about her being late. No, guys, I'm not talking about that, even though, I don't think lying in general is a good thing, even white lies like that. No, guys, pathological liars have no restraint. There is no boundary. There is no filter. There's nothing keeping them from just lying, right? Lying about any and everything. Guys, this is going to be something that you are hit with like a ton of bricks, all right? You're going to see this, guys. If you pay attention, you're going to be able to find this out pretty quickly. And here's how. Guys, if you catch somebody lying about little things, be on your guard. Be extremely cautious. Do not think that that person is just telling a little lie. They're just being a little dishonest. They're just beating around the bush a little bit. Don't fall for it. Guys, you already have to watch out for women because they are manipulators, okay? That's just a fact. Even good women are going to be manipulators. It's in their nature, okay? It's just the way that our fallen nature is. We all have pros and cons. Women, for the most part, are going to be really good manipulators. And guys, being a manipulator, I'm going to go out on a little tangent here. Being a manipulator is not necessarily a bad thing because we manipulate everything around us every day. We've put a negative light on manipulation. Now, there is a lot of negatives associated with the wrong type of manipulation, but manipulating can be a good thing, especially if you're trying to advance a good cause, if you're trying to do things for the right reasons, okay? But women are going to be really good at manipulating emotions and social settings and things, guys, the way you think, so you got to be on your guard. But the best way to figure this out, guys, and this goes for men and women, is going to be if they lie about the little things, because there shouldn't be a reason not to lie about the little things, if that makes sense. Guys, if somebody's lying about where they are all the time to their parents, you might think it's kind of cute at first, right? But it's really not, okay? If somebody's lying about where they are to their friends, what they're doing, maybe they're just lying to their friends about hanging out with you, right? Or they're lying about places they've been, or they're lying about, guys, it could be just insignificant things. This could look like appeasement, okay? Pathological liars will oftentimes seem like they're totally in line with you, that they're appeasing you, right? That they like all the same things you do, that they are going along with the same things you do. They will agree with you, but they're lying. They're lying to agree with you, okay? So, guys, it's pretty straightforward, but I think sometimes as guys, we overlook things, or we think that we're the exception to the rule. And we oftentimes want to wrongfully assume that it's going to be like a one-time thing, okay? My best advice for you is to essentially tell the person that you think's a pathological liar right? Because you really don't know unless you look back and you find out a lot of things are just straight up lies. Guys, you're not really going to figure out things until they're too late. And I keep saying that because I'm about to share a story with you guys. So, once upon a time, guys, I was dating a girl, and we were like two peas in a pod, all right? We were great, or at least I thought we were. Guys, it didn't take me probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, if I'm being honest, after, dating this girl for a while, going out, all that good stuff, to start to get that feeling in my gut. And if you guys don't know what that feeling is in your gut, it's not a good feeling. But I was so enamored with what was going on in the present. I was so enamored with the words. I wasn't concerned with what the negatives could be. And so, guys, what ended up happening was when I was first dating this girl, she would essentially lie about where she was to her mom, to her parents, right? She would lie about her whereabouts. She would also embellish things, right? Things were never as they truly were. I mean, she would pick up the phone, talk to her friends, talk to her mom with me sitting right there, and she would just straight up lie. Straight up lie about where she was, who she was with. And this happened a few times, and I started to get honestly pretty pissed off. And I said, look, if we're going to be together, I can't be around someone who lies. I said, I don't care if it's because you're with me. I don't care like what reason you think is good. I just said, look, you're not going to lie in front of me. You're not going to do this around me. I'm not going to stand up. I'm not going to stand for this. So that went away, right? So I thought everything was good. I thought the message was, pretty clear. But guys, pathological liars, they don't stop there, okay? They don't stop there. And this is something that I had to learn, okay? I should have known there were some red flags. I should have known, right? But I just kept going with it because I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt, right? You hear a lot of talk about how you should lay down the law, you should put your boundaries and all that stuff, and that is true to an extent. But you can't change people. So guys, as the weeks and the months would go on, I would be told one thing. I would be presented one reality by this person. And it was never the truth. It was never the whole truth, right? There was a time where she did a photo shoot, right, with one of her friends, one of her girlfriends. They were taking pictures out somewhere. And she knew how I felt. She knew what my thoughts were on the posting of like provocative pictures. I've talked about this in some of my videos. Most guys don't want their girlfriend, right, their future wife, to be posting things that are going to be provocative, right? It's just pretty common sense. But a lot of women, even women who I believe do want to do the right thing, the temptation to post those pictures is so alluring because of all the attention that you get from males and females, right? Because that's the way the world is. That's the way everything is right now. And so I would be told, in fact, actually, I wouldn't be told about these things, right? Or I would be told like the pictures would be for me. And at the time, I didn't have a social media. I didn't have like an Instagram. I didn't have these things. I deleted them for quite some time. And I remember I would get on her phone because we had open phones with each other. We had our password shared. There was nothing to hide. She assured me there was nothing like I could have at it, right? So I just got on her phone one day because we did that. And I went to her Instagram, and lo and behold, there were pictures up from that photo shoot within 24 hours. And this photo shoot was not exactly the most innocent looking photo shoot, okay? It's pretty risque, right? And I remember confronting her, and I remember bringing things up, and I remember asking, like, why didn't she tell me that she did this, right? And I remember also saying things like, you know how I feel about these things, you know what I think about these things, why would you do this? And she gave me this run-of-the-mill, well, I was going to tell you, I was going to send you the best pictures. I was going to, like, I don't know, guys, there was every excuse you could think of in the book. And we had a pretty quick discussion because I just wasn't having it. And she was like, okay, like, I'll just take them down. I didn't tell her to take them down, but I let her know I didn't approve of what was up. And so she took them down. Guys, again, this was a pretty red flag because I wasn't told these things beforehand. I wasn't told she was going to be posting this stuff. I wasn't told that she was going to be putting this up. And mind you, we had already talked about standards and things, right? And so I was kind of annoyed, right? But I was, again, giving the benefit of the doubt because I thought that I had to at least give at least one shot. I had to at least show her that I was serious about these things, okay? But guys, what ended up happening was this person was really good at putting on an act. And they were really good at not doing, or at least to my knowledge, doing the same thing twice. But there were multiple things that kept happening. And guys, by multiple things that kept happening, almost everything you could think of, and probably some things that I probably don't want to know about. Right? We'll just put it that way. And she was adamant that she wasn't doing anything wrong. For instance, got on her phone again. A couple months went by. Got on her phone again. Found things in her Snapchat. Basically, she was talking straight up crap about me online, right? I guess she had a private story going or something. I can't recall exactly. It might have been public on Snapchat. I have no idea. And I remember, on Snapchat, you can see how many people view your stuff. And I remember, it was like a DM between her and one of her girlfriends. And it was just this video, or like multiple videos of her just talking about me. I don't remember a name drop, but it was pretty obvious, like my boyfriend. And it was just a bunch of crap, right? About how boyfriends suck, about how boyfriends are lame, about how they're this or that. Really negative stuff, guys. But I would have never guessed, because the act that she was putting on around me 99% of the time was the complete opposite. And that's why, time and time again, guys, you can probably share some experiences. Women on social media, if they have an active Instagram and Snapchat, I don't know, guys, I can't, it's really hard. It's really hard to actually take a woman seriously, especially if she's got certain pictures out and things like that, because the temptation, again, is there for the attention. And there's really no sort of issue women have saying or doing anything on social media. But that was one of the other things, right? Was finding out about that. Guys, as the weeks would go on, right, it would get better. It would get better. We had established, or I thought we did, up front, that we weren't going to be talking to people one-on-one, especially for no reason, right? Other, people of the opposite sex, we weren't just going to be casually talking to them. And think what you want, guys. I don't care. If you're committed to somebody in a relationship, there really shouldn't be any reason why you're talking to the opposite sex, right? If somebody reaches out to you, honestly, half the time you could ignore it. And if you can't ignore it, you can make it very short. You don't have to have a day-long conversation. You don't have to have 5-10 messages back and forth, right? So as the weeks would go on, I would find out more things, right? About how she was texting these people that I knew about, like one-on-one. And I'm like, why, right? And the messages, guys, believe it or not, a lot of it was extremely innocent stuff. Very platonic, very surface level, very just, guys, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. This was just extremely casual. Like, there was nothing made of this, right? At least from the chats, right? There was nothing made of it. But again, alarm bells start going off. Like, wait a minute, why would you want all this attention? Why wouldn't you just reach out to me? Why do you keep pushing these buttons, right? I told her, look, I said, like, this is ridiculous, right? Again, let it go. Weeks, months later go by. Happens again. We talked about having the respect for each other when it comes to being alone with the other sex, right? Basically, that should never happen, okay? Convince me otherwise, guys, but essentially that should never happen. I ended up finding out that she ended up riding home from work with this guy that she knew, which was about a 5-minute drive. And the crazy thing is I was available, or I would have been available if she just asked, right? Crazy thing was, guys, when I actually went over to her house to see her after this incident, which I didn't know had happened yet, right? She was making a scrapbook about us. She had all these pictures on the ground. She'd print off all these pictures of us. She'd make a scrapbook of us. And I just thought it was crazy, like thinking back, I just thought it was crazy how things can seem so innocent, so just like an everyday thing up front, right? But then there can be so much going on behind the messages, the social media, right? And most guys, the crazy part is if they have open phones with each other, a lot of guys just assume that their significant other's doing the right thing, right? A lot of you guys will assume because your girl's open with you that she's not hiding anything. And a lot of guys just assume that. A lot of guys have access to the girl's phone but never actually get on it. And guys, again, there was a lot of things that happened. There was a lot of gut feelings I had. I should have cut it off sooner, believe me. But as time was going on, as I kept finding out things, guys, I knew deep down what the truth probably was, right? That this person could not be 100% faithful, okay? Now, there was also some other incidents, okay? There was one in particular that this individual never confessed to. And this was really where I should have cut it off. But I was too much of a nice guy, right? There was a time that we had these trackers on each other's phone, basically location trackers. It was her idea. Again, I know it's stupid, but that's just what we did at the time, right? So looking back, guys, what happened was she ended up, it was like during the week, maybe it was the week they were off, I don't know, something. And she went out with her friends at night. And I remember like it would show like where this person's been on this like location tracker, and it was like 1 or 2 in the morning, and it showed basically that like she drove, or somebody drove and went to go get like Taco Bell, and it was just like driving around in circles in a pretty close like proximity, right? And like went back and had this weird loop. And I remember confronting her about it, and she acted like she didn't know what I was talking about. And I remember showing her, and I remember I could see this look in her eyes like she knew exactly what I was talking about, but she never admitted what was going on. The best I got was some trickle truth, like, oh, we went and we picked up stuff, but she was very defensive, very, why are you asking about this? Why is it such a big deal? And I'm like, because you're not telling me, and this is extremely out of character. Like, what is this? And guys, I never got an answer for that. So guys, sometimes the lying isn't so obvious, but if you pay attention, especially at the beginning, it is, because you let things fly, because you let the small things in your mind, the small things fly. And that's what we do as guys, is we want to assume the best. We want to be the good, nice guy, right? And that ends up screwing you over in the long run. Now, guys, that was a learning experience for sure, okay? I remember digging and digging and digging, trying to look as, far down as I could in the phone, everything, right? And, I never found like anything super concrete, right? Never anything super concrete, but I knew by this person, right? I knew by the way that they had grown up. I knew by the way that things were appearing to me. I knew by what was said to me. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly, guys, looking back, if this person had another phone that they were hiding. Because I distinctly remember them saying that when they were growing up that they did something along those lines. They had a second phone because parents were extremely controlling and things like that. So, guys, this is all to tell you what a pathological liar looks like, okay? Oftentimes, the stories I just told you guys about, you might be scratching your heads going, well, was she, basically lying to you, like, up front? Guys, a lot of times, yes. she was. It might have not been a straight up in my face, like I'm asking her a question and she's just straight up lying about it. But the daily things that you go through, the daily things that you just interact, talk about, guys, they will talk about, they will totally omit things, or they will tell something that is completely not true, right? And that's the really sad, the really scary thing, is oftentimes you don't know it's even happening to you. But I truly believe it's not one of those things that you can just not know is happening to you. You can read the writing on the wall. If she's going to be honest in the little things, it's very likely she's going to be honest with the big things. And guys, I know you want to think this or that. You want to assume that the small things don't matter, but they do. You can tell a lot about somebody about the small things, right? You know how women say you can tell a lot about a guy, the way he treats the waiter, the way he treats people out in public, the way he treats the old lady, the way he treats his mom, his dad, the way he treats people who don't deserve anything, right? Same way you can tell about women, right? It's really human nature. And this video really goes for women as well, because if you have a guy who's lying about the little things up front, and a lot of women have problems with this because men can be extremely convincing with their words as well. But if he's lying about something, guys, you don't want to stay with a liar, okay? Women, you don't want to stay with a liar. Men, you don't want to stay with a liar. I know you might think it's cute, it's kind of funny up front. You think, oh, it's me, I'm the exception, guys. Again, you're not, okay? You're not. Save yourself the heartache, save yourself the time, the mental anguish, right? Save yourself. Get out. Move on to someone who can be honest about the little things, okay? And guys, really, at the end of the day, once it comes down to it, if people respect you, they're gonna tell you the truth, right? If people respect themselves, they're gonna be able to live a truthful life. Don't think that if somebody lied to you, that they were trying to protect you. That's what I want to end this video with today, is don't think because if somebody lied to you that they were trying to protect you from something, or that you were somehow the problem, guys. People who are pathological liars have problems. They cannot face the truth themselves. They can't face the truth of themselves. There's probably a lot of trauma, a lot of issues that they've never dealt with head on, and they're going to project those onto people. They're going to do what they want. They might feel bad for it. They might truly like you. They might even truly think that they love you, but they're not able to fix themselves because they haven't done the work, because that's who they are. That's their defense mechanism. That's the way they choose to live their life. So guys, I hope you never get into a situation where you're with a pathological liar. They will destroy everything in their path, all right? They're usually going to be narcissistic, sociopathic people who don't really care too much about how you feel. But I hope this video helps you out, guys. If you have any questions or you have anything that you want to add to this, any disagreements, anything at all, let me know in the comments below. But I'll see y'all at the next one.